Hello, hello. Welcome to CEO Insights podcast. My name is Vitaly. With me is Konstantin Boyko from LenderKit. Welcome, Konstantin.
Thank you, Vitaly. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, well, thank you for being so open. We already had a quick conversation about his company, and Konstantin was very genuinely open about the wonderful work that he does in supporting creating software for crowdfunding companies, but also just he's genuine as a CEO of a company who's a team in Ukraine and other countries based in where are you based right now? Estonia.
I'm now based in Amsterdam, but the company is registered in Estonia, so
Okay.
it's kind of international team with international structure at the moment.
Wonderful, and that's understandable. Obviously, you started in Ukraine. Now you're growing in across the Eastern Europe. But the reason why I say Konstantin was very kind, being genuine. Some CEOs hide their challenges, but he openly admitted, right, Konstantin, that sometimes it's difficult if you have a team in Ukraine to operate under these conditions.
Yeah, that's true. Unfortunately, some customers see it as a negative side and additional risks. At the same time, we try to mitigate those risks, and we have a team which is actually distributed over different countries. With me being in Amsterdam, we have people in Poland, in France, in Cyprus. So it's not an issue of where we are physically. It's more about how we work together as a team and what kind of culture we build and what kind of cooperation and operational processes we have.
Yeah, I love it. I think you're tapping into some very fundamental. We live in the age of technology. When I started as a young kid, I built this thing called the internet, and everybody thought, "Wow!" Before that, we used to send pigeons. Now we used to do faxes. We used to send faxes. I said, "No, this new network will open up. You could be anywhere around the world and do work, right? Right." And look what happened, right? Like now, companies like you now stand on top of this platform and literally, it doesn't. I mean, yes, I mean you're sensitive towards geopolitical disturbances, but as a software company, it's like, what do you care? Like tomorrow, the same Ukrainian guys move to Dubai or United Emirates, and they're sitting there and they're doing software for the local clients, right? So, and you can communicate across borders these days. So you literally have virtual company.
Yeah, in a sense, I wish I would have more less virtual company in a sense because sometimes I miss live interaction and many things happen in the team, not over Zoom or Google Meet or some things. When you are sitting in the same office, there
Yeah.
are ideas which come over coffee or some things. But on the other hand, I guess we have to be thankful to all this technology which make this possible.
Yeah, so it's on one hand, I actually agree with you. I miss friends. I'm in Croatia at the moment. See, beautiful country. I love it, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, wait a minute, there's no, unless there's a few sailing boats, but not many people. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that connection is lost. But sometimes, look, we're doing it now. Me and you are communicating in a very deep and kind of like meaningful way, and you're getting a lot out of this, and I'm getting a lot, and audience are getting it. So we are getting value, right, through this remote communication. What I want to ask you is this. So given that yeah, there are pros and cons of remote and virtual, but and at the end of the day, it liberates you to work across multiple countries and geopolitical boundaries. What is it that typically holds an owner of a software company like yours? What is it that holds you from expanding?
Yeah, I think it's some sort of mental blocks in a sense because of course I know that some things can happen and I can go after some customers in specific regions, and because we thanks to being remote and digital, we can do things in very different countries. Like we work with customers in Saudi Arabia, in US, in Europe, in Canada, and so forth. But I guess in my current situation, I always try to choose safer routes over more risky ones, and with this kind of mindset, it's hard to make a definite move in certain direction.
Yeah.
Like to give you an example, I went a few times to Saudi Arabia already, met a lot of new people, and everyone is talking about you need to be present here, you need to have an office, you have to have a real presence because this is how things are done here. And I understand this and I totally agree. At the same time, I still haven't found a solution how to do it properly with kind of my risk appetite, let's call it this way. So for now, all the solutions which I see, they are either expensive or I have to rely on one local partner. And yeah, so far I didn't go in that direction completely.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, I also realized that probably I should be more decisive and go there and expand much more aggressively in that market because it works for us.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you for. I mean, what you're now doing, I love what you just did. You see, what you just did is you kind of self-analyze yourself. You like it's like plugging a testing software like if you're developing software and you go, listen, what the hell is going on here? Why are we looping here? And you go, oh,
Yeah,
this is why we're looping. I'm afraid of committing to local. And it feels like a risky move.
yeah,
And it's okay. You're evaluating your risk, right? As a smart CEO, you're going, do I really want to put my risk in Dubai? And that's expensive down there. Right now I'm quite comfortable. And
yes,
maybe not. Maybe at the end of that evaluation, you go, nah, I'm not going to do this. This is way too stretching for my risk level, right? And it's absolutely okay.
exactly.
But at least you've gone through the process and you're clear. But I'm not going to do this. But maybe what I'll do is to say to that guy, listen, I get it that you want a local team. Of course, everybody wants a local team. And I'm willing to go some ways. Maybe I'll put one or two people there, so you can ask questions. But I'm not going to put 20 people in there for you for this project because that's way too rich. So but some kind of what we call it polarity, some kind of negotiation happens in your head and between them. And there are some customers where they go, okay, listen, I'm happy to give you this project to that degree, given that you're going to put that much people on the ground, da 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 da. And then you also have to convince them that, wait a minute, I know you want people locally because you don't trust, because you're in Arabic culture and you still want to shake their hand and drink tea.
Yeah.
But I can show you how we were satisfying, just like someone like you, with a remote virtual process, which was fantastic. Because really, what you're saying is, I don't trust you enough when you're out there, right? But let me assure you, and let me create a structure for you, so we can do this virtual thing step by step, so you will actually get to trust us. You will see how reliable we are even though we're working remotely. So, see this, whatever his fears, it's like also psychological fears. They're not real.
Yeah, 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 I agree totally. And having success stories and track record
Case
in
studies.
this region
Yeah.
helps a lot to overcome those. And if it's what we normally say is, okay, yeah, we understand we're not local, but we've worked with a number of companies. They are happy. We've faced all those challenges of not being in the country, and we solved them in this and this way. So this obviously helps.
Yeah, exactly. So again, we're back to that's why I studied psychology. Like on the first hand, it looks like it's a business problem, and then you go, oh, it's just he's just afraid because he hasn't
Hmm.
worked in a remote environment before. And yet another customer said, oh, no problems. Yeah, yeah, we had this company, they're fantastic. He's not used to the virtual world yet. And well,
Hmm.
here's news. There's going to be a whole other world, which is called AI, agentic world, and this is like completely virtual and virtual reality and digital
Yeah.
twins. Like, so this guy is going to have to, like, nobody's going to be where they are physically, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's okay. The customers who are on a mature, on the kind of like low digital maturity end, and they want something solid and physical. So, and maybe at the end, they're not your customers in the first place. That's the other thing. You might choose like, yeah, this guy's too much hard work. Like, I'm going to have to satisfy him. Why don't I go to some younger bank or somebody that's used to working in this way?
Yeah, it's also I think it's also cultural thing and how Because people, for example, who traveled, who lived in other countries, even if they live now in Saudi Arabia, they are much more open to digital communication, to remote work, to many things. On the other hand, people who stay local and think local, they obviously they want to work with local companies. That is kind of also natural. But I think it also comes to your psychology topic. It's
Yeah,
all about how people think.
how people think. Thank you so much, Konstantin. Thank you for having this improvisational kind of like mini coaching session or whatever. I really appreciate it. I wish you good luck, really, and for the people in your country, in Ukraine, also that the war stops and you guys can flourish.
Thank you so much, Vitaly. It was really insightful, all the conversation and mini coaching session as well. Thank you so much for the invitation.